Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here, and we're here once again, ladies and gentlemen, for your WWE Tables, Ladders, and Chairs TLC 2017 review and results. And they were live here tonight from Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the Target Center Arena, whatever the hell you want to call it. But ladies and gentlemen, I am actually shocked here tonight because I am here to talk to you about how good Tables, Ladders, and Chairs was here tonight. Now, clearly this show had its downfalls, the commentary, the Cruiserweight Championship matchup, but besides that, everything else on this show, especially the in-ring work, particularly the in-ring work, was absolutely fantastic. The in-ring work was absolutely fantastic on this show. Everybody came out here tonight, and this happens on a lot of WWE pay-per-views, but more so here tonight, where everybody came out and just put their 110% into that ring and put on good matches, even when you didn't expect it to be a good match. The storyline going into this pay-per-view was rubbish for a lot of these matches. Besides Mickie James and Alexa Bliss and Asuka versus Emma, which really didn't have that much storyline. It was really just the hype around Asuka coming in and Emma just being Emma, you know. So, I mean, besides those two matches with a lot of hype around them, these matches really weren't that exciting going into it. And goddamn, did they deliver with what they had on the table. I mean, shit. You had a Cruiserweight tag team matchup that actually was very, very good on this matchup. Not to mention what they did in the Tables, Ladders, and Chairs main event, the 3-on-5 handicap match. They took that, and despite what we're getting coming out of that, with Braun Strowman and Kane, they found a way to make it logical that these three guys would be able to survive the 5-on-3 scenario that they were in. They made it actually very logical on how these guys would survive, and I like that WWE was able to do that. Clearly there were some times where you're just like, what the fuck is going on here, and why haven't they ended this yet? They have the 5-on-2 advantage right now, so why the hell aren't you just going for the pin? Hell, if 5 guys need to stack up on top of each other just to get the pin, why not do that? But I mean, that was clearly going to happen. That's just what WWE set themselves up for. But for what they set themselves up for the corner they put themselves in with this 5-on-3 and making it believable, they did a very decent job. They did a very, very decent job. Not to mention what we saw in that ring with AJ Styles and Finn Balor. Absolutely heavenly, spectacular matchup right there. No doubt about it, bro. So overall, a good show. I might as well go as far as to saying a very good show. Besides that Cruiserweight matchup, which was absolutely a DUD dud, this was really a very, very good show for WWE. This really was. And excuse me for saying it, but this show was absolutely made better by the fact that Kurt Angle replaced Roman Reigns, and absolutely tenfold made better by the fact that AJ Styles took the place of Bray Wyatt. My God, that AJ Styles Finn Balor match was fucking great. But that was TLC. That's really the synopsis coming out of this pay-per-view. WWE, surprisingly, compared to what we came into this pay-per-view with, coming out, they did a very, very good job. The WWE. Damn, they did a good job. But besides that, this show, that's really the synopsis coming out of this show. But of course, before we do get in and we go over these matches in details, because there is a lot to go over, but before we do go all these matches in details, of course, make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. And if I do sound a little more burnt out here than usual, it's because we just sat through 3 hours of goddamn wrestling. So it's a little bit of a stress to come on here and project my voice and sound all excited. I might sound a little sluggish, especially towards the end of this review, but Make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. There's a lot of other content to go check out. Over 250 videos to go check out for your viewing pleasure. You've got Raw and Smackdown reviews, which are already up on the channel this week. You got, of course, Behind the Mic each and every single Saturday. That was uploaded last night. We just did a video covering all this crazy stuff going on in the WWE, talking about Kurt Angle taking the place of Roman Reigns, talking about Finn Balor or AJ Styles taking the place of Bray Wyatt, talking about Kevin Owens being sent home from the South American House Tour, right? Because he had family issues, talking about Nia Jax taking a leave of absence from the WWE. So there was a lot of stuff to talk about there as far as missing superstars go, and the reason why those superstars were in the situation that they were. That was very, very interesting in and of itself. So if you did not see Behind the Mic, make sure to go check that out. A huge video right there just talking about everything that's going on in the WWE. That would be Behind the Mic, episode number 42. New logo type for Behind the Mic. We changed things around, made things look newer and more refreshed. So make sure to go check out Behind the Mic if you missed it. This weekend on Saturday, Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, like I mentioned before. If you want to see the go-home show for this pay-per-view, if you want to see the preview and predictions, everything I was thinking going into this pay-per-view, and what we originally had on the table with the Shield versus the Five Guys, right? Clearly that changed, unfortunately, after I already completed my preview and predictions. But I mean, if you do want to see my mindset going into this pay-per-view compared to coming out, make sure to go check out the preview and predictions. On Tuesday, we did a breaking news video before SmackDown Live on Nia Jax. Make sure to go check that out. Her taking her leave of absence, that was the breaking news right there. My career mode on WWE 2K18 going live the whole week. You had episode number 1 on Monday, episode number 2 on Wednesday, and episode number 3 still yet to come out. I think I might have it tomorrow. Maybe we'll do 2 a week with my career. But episode 3 is done. I just need to do the little intro sequence where we have that montage, those cool montages with the cool music, right, that I find on the editing service. But besides that, my career mode, episode number 3 will probably be up tomorrow. Maybe we will do it like that every week, Monday and Wednesday. I'm still trying to figure out the schedule for that. But my career mode, WWE 2K18 content on full blast on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. I'm still trying to find out how we're going to do this universe mode. I'm still working out the kinks with that. Still finding time to do that because there is so much content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. And this pay-per-view review is just one example of that. So, of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to stay up to date with everything going on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, best way to do that is to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed yet, I do not know what you're waiting for, bro. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button with the table. Put that subscribe button through a table. Hit it with the chair and throw it off a ladder, bro. Make sure to do all that fantastic stuff with the subscribe button. Notification bell, do the same thing. Click on that notification bell to get notified on your mobile device. If you want even more ways to stay notified with the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, Twitter of the same name. You get notifications on that there on the Twitter feed every time I upload. And of course, we live tweet with Raws, Smackdowns, and this pay-per-view here tonight. We were live tweeting the entire night, tweeting with this pay-per-view. So all those ways to stay up to date with the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Go follow the Twitter account of the same name. Subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel and click on that notification bell to stay up to date with the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel, as well as, of course, make sure to like this video if you are enjoying what you're hearing here, and make sure to comment what you thought about Tables, Ladders, and Chairs 2017 in the comment section below, because your opinion is so very important to me as well. So make sure to do all that fantastic stuff, because for now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going straight into this pay-per-view. And we're going to start from the top, bro. We are going to start from the top, from the matchup I just saw, the biggest matchup on this pay-per-view. And it was Kurt Angle, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins versus Braun Strowman, Kane, The Miz, and Sheamus and Cesaro. Now, clearly, going into this, that is a conglomerate of 5 guys that have nothing to do with each other, and that is a problem. And that was an issue during the matchup here tonight. These guys really had nothing to do with each other. And really, it showed. It showed. It really did. And this really had no business to be a 5-on-3. And Kurt Angle here tonight, he was playing half the role of a Shield member and half the role of Kurt Angle, the guy, the superstar we know and love. So this really wasn't like a full-on Kurt Angle back in action, because he was really playing the role of a Shield member. He had the Shield's attire on. He literally had Roman Reigns gear on. Clearly smaller, because Kurt Angle is smaller. But he pretty much had Roman Reigns gear on. So, I mean, this was Kurt Angle. He did the Shield entrance. No, Kurt Angle entrance. It was the Shield entrance from the arena. He paid homage to Roman Reigns. The ending of this match was a Shield powerbomb. So, I mean, Kurt Angle is really playing a member of the Shield. And he looked ridiculous in that Roman Reigns outfit. He really goddamn did. Kurt Angle does not look good. He looked good in that singlet, because that's his attire. But whatever, man. This match went all Shield in the beginning, as they came in with chairs as equalizers, bro. That got immediate yes chants from the crowd. The crowd was hot for Kurt Angle. Crowd was hot for the Shield, bro. They really, really were. Kurt Angle, this went to a segment in the matchup where they went to a spot where Strowman and Kane were set up on the announce tables, and this was in the beginning of the matchup. This matchup went a while, by the way. I think it went like a good 40 minutes. I'm not sure. I did not take time, but it went a long time, did this matchup. And they were set up on the announce tables, and Ambrose and Rollins set up ladders where they jumped off and eliminated the big men from the equation, at least for that part of the matchup, early on. Kurt Angle, he then started German suplexing everyone in the matchup like this was Brock Lesnar's Suplex City. Goddamn. Kane then came in, tried to chokeslam Angle. Angle reversed that, locked in the ankle lock. That's when Braun Strowman came in, absolutely pushed Kurt Angle out of the way. And here was Braun Strowman. There was a table set up early in the matchup. I'm not sure by who. I think it was Sheamus and Cesaro or The Miz. One of those guys. Table set up. Power slams Kurt Angle through the table that was set up. And it looked awesome. And that was enough to take Kurt Angle out of the match. They played up the angle. Puns. They played up the angle where the Meds carried him out and the 5 men dominated the matchup. Now I found that ridiculous. I'm like, what the fuck? It's already a 5-on-3 matchup. Now it's a 2-on-5? You gotta be kidding me with that one. And somehow, I'm not even sure how, Ambrose and Rollins actually hung on here. I actually find that quite unbelievable. There was just a point in this matchup where it was just the 5 men in the ring beating the shit out of Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, torturing Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. They even teased where a fight between Braun Strowman and Kane, where Kane accidentally hit Strowman in the back with the chair, and Strowman shoved Kane hard, bro. Kane went across the ring with that push, bro. And the entire team of Sheamus and Cesaro and The Miz had to break that up. That allowed a small opening for Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, but that was not enough. Sheamus and Cesaro eventually got Dean Ambrose in the crucifix position, and they tried to crucifix him through a table. Table did not budge. What did budge was one of the legs of the table, so they set the table up on the corner, leaning against the turnbuckles and the ropes, right? And Braun Strowman took Dean Ambrose and brutally tossed him into the table. There, it fucking broke with the strength of Braun Strowman. You already know, bro. My God. Miz then went up the ramp, and he starts calling for something to be brought out. And I'm like, what the hell is this guy signaling for? I don't even know. I thought he was just bringing Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins up to the stage so they can use everything propped up on the stage. But this guy brings out a dumpster. A fucking garbage truck, bro. You gotta be kidding me with that one. They tried to throw Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins in the garbage truck. They tried, but Ambrose and Rollins, they fought back, got on like a rung of the garbage truck. It's like they got on something. They got on an elevated platform on the garbage truck, right? and they jumped onto Kane, Sheamus, and Cesaro, and Braun Strowman. And it was one of those spots you'd see off the top rope on Raw. The Miz, he was just directing these guys at one point, right? And Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins start chasing Miz around, and so eventually Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins are back down. I think it's Kane who comes in and equalizes them, or Braun Strowman or something. Yeah, it was Braun Strowman who equalized it, right? And Kane comes out of nowhere, starts beating up Braun Strowman, and chokeslams him off the set, I believe, into a table. So Braun Strowman at this point is off the set, and Kane is just standing there, looking down at what he's just done. I think even smiling, right? And the commentators were assuming, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Booker T were assuming that Kane had done this because Braun Strowman shoved him early in the matchup, and that was really never continued upon until this point in the matchup. We still do not have an explanation why Kane did this, and I'm worried that this is going to lead us into a Survivor Series match with Kane versus Braun Strowman, which that sounds absolutely ridiculous. But, I mean, Kane, he still did something pretty awesome in this goddamn matchup. Braun Strowman grabs the leg of Kane. He's still not down. Grabs the leg of Kane, and he starts looking up. You know how they have all those chairs hanging, connected to each other from the ceiling to pretty much the ground of the set of TLC? He takes those chairs, and he pulls them down, and like a good 10 chairs, like Wade Barrett or John Cena at TLC like 2010, I believe. And when John Cena pulled down all the chairs and they all fell onto Wade Barrett, that's pretty much what happened to Braun Strowman here. So Braun Strowman is out. He is out, right? Or at least you think. And Kane, he starts again working with the goddamn fucking... He starts working with his team again. They're not even fucking mad. They're just saying, whatever, it happened. Which, that doesn't even make sense to me, because why would you eliminate your biggest force in this matchup? Why would Kane be such a dumbass? Does he really have such an agenda? I don't goddamn know, but Strowman somehow, some way, still got up, and he started attacking not just Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, not just Kane, but everyone on his goddamn team. They eventually did manage to gang up on him. Kane got a big boot on Braun Strowman. They ganged up on him, and they threw Strowman into the garbage truck, and Miz signaled for the garbage truck to drive away with Strowman. They did that thing where the door, the back door, or whatever the hell it is, of the garbage truck, which scoops up all the garbage and throws it in the back, they had that scoop up Braun Strowman and throw it in the back, bro. So Braun Strowman was inside the garbage truck at this point, gone. He was inside the garbage truck drives away, Braun Strowman is out of the equation, bro. Goddamn, I was just like, holy shit, this is fucking good. I was enjoying the hell out of this matchup at this point, bro. My God. The remaining 4 men then started doing a bunch of double team moves on Ambrose and Rollins. You had Sheamus holding up Dean Ambrose or Seth Rollins, whoever the hell it was, in goddamn white noise position. And Cesaro, the beast that he is, comes off the second rope, and fucking that gets a near fall on whoever it was. I think it was Seth Rollins. Dean Ambrose comes out of nowhere. Yeah, it was Seth Rollins. So springboard crossbody onto Sheamus does Cesaro, who has Rollins under him in a white noise. That looked fucking cool. Dean Ambrose somehow breaks it up. And as they continue to beat down Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, they continue to beat him down and continue to beat him down. Out comes Kurt Angle once again. You expected him to come out. Every time WWE does that. They did it with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam this year. They did it with Roman Reigns at the 2016 Royal Rumble. It was the Royal Rumble where the WWE Championship was on the line. I know that. So they did it with Reigns there. And each time they've come back. Each time they come back. And most of the time, like we saw with Lesnar at SummerSlam, they win the matchup. So Angle at this point comes back. Angle's music plays. He comes out fired up. Sheamus comes running at him. Throws Sheamus onto the LED ramp, right? Here comes Cesaro. He hits Cesaro with an angle slam through a table. Sheamus gets an angle slam of his own. They're out of the matchup for the rest of the match, right? Here come Sheamus or Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins take Kane and Roman Reigns style spear him through the barricade. So Kane is out of the equation. That leaves The Miz. Braun Strowman was already eliminated from the equation. That leaves The Miz inside the ring. He hits a skull-crushing finale on Kurt Angle for a near fall. Kurt Angle manages to kick out, and at this point, Mr. Miz over here is just bait for Kurt Angle, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. Rollins hits the knee, his new finisher of the knee, right? Dean Ambrose hits the Dirty Deeds. Angle hits an Angle Slam, and Shield is victim to a Shield powerbomb, which Angle was in the middle for. Angle gets the pin. 1, 2, 3, and that ends the tables, ladders, and chairs matchup for the night. Absolutely chaotic matchup. Everybody expected it to be so, but they really did deliver. Angle looking fantastic. I knew, it was no question to me that Angle was going to look absolutely fantastic. I mean, we've seen the matches he had on the indies before he came to WWE with Cody Rhodes and all these guys. He was just wrestling left and right. And here, it's like he did not skip a beat, bro. Looks absolutely fantastic, this Kurt Angle. Absolutely jacked from what we were able to see with him and his fucking Roman Reigns attire here. But absolutely fantastic match. And I like how they played it off that the team turned on Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman was just eliminated from the equation because that was my biggest worry. If they lose, what the hell does that mean for Braun Strowman? I like that Braun Strowman was turned on because Braun Strowman would look shitty coming off a loss for Brock Lesnar, and then where he has the advantage in a 5-on-3 handicap match, losing to Kurt Angle, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins, or Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins, whatever combination it is. So they explained that very well, and I was very happy on that front. They, what I'm not happy about is that they gave Kane a fucking storyline beyond this point. So, my God, that is scary to me. That Kane seems to have a storyline going into the Survivor Series with Braun Strowman, and that is not something that puts a smile on my face. I'll tell you that much, bro. My God, that sounds like it is going to be awful, but for what we've seen tonight in this tables, ladders, and chairs match, it was fantastic. But I will tell you one thing. This pay-per-view was missing a second TLC matchup, bro. Only having one TLC matchup and waiting until all the way towards the main event to see it really did detract from this pay-per-view. I would have made, like you did at Hell in a Cell. Well, Hell in a Cell should really have one Hell in a Cell match. Matter of fact, Hell in a Cell shouldn't even be a pay-per-view if you ask me. But TLC, I mean, it really isn't as special as a Hell in a Cell. I would have made 2 or 3 TLC matches. 3 would be overkill. I would have made 2 TLC matches for this pay-per-view. What those matches would be, they really didn't have anything built up to be a TLC matchup on this show. Maybe you do Bray Wyatt versus Finn Balor. That could have been TLC, but not even that. I'm not sure, but I think this show really did need 2 TLC matches. I mean, nothing else, if I'm being honest with you, really fit that bill of a second TLC matchup. But I do think that this show could have used a second TLC matchup if you wanted to go that extra distance and make this show better. That's just a thought I had right there. That waiting so long to get to this TLC matchup, as good as the other matches were, like, you gotta remember, this is a TLC pay-per-view, bro. This is a TLC pay-per-view. Why is the pay-per-view called that? You wouldn't know until 10:20 when this match started. So there you go. That was just a complaint I had right there as far as this pay-per-view being called TLC. And before this main event, there really wasn't anything else worthy of that name. Just pointing that out right there. But besides that, the rest of this show was very, very solid, and I enjoyed it a lot, bro. This main event really just put that icing on the cake. Very, very good stuff here. But before this, you had a lot of good matches here. You started off, we're going back to the beginning of the show here, you started off with Emma and Asuka, bro. And Asuka had a very good debut here tonight. Very, very good start for Asuka here on Monday Night Raw. Love the fact that they let this match go on for a little while, and it wasn't just a straight up squash. Really thought going into this matchup, oh, Emma looks like shit. Emma looks like shit. Everybody else has no problem beating Emma. Yet here tonight, and that kind of bothers me, bro. You did not build Emma up at all going into this matchup. You built Emma up like a joke going into this matchup, and then Asuka's the only one to have trouble with Emma. Really, you should have built Emma up a lot better going into this matchup, bro. But this was a very decent match. A very decent match and a good debut for Asuka. That's why I wanted her to go against Emma. They could have done better. They could have done better. This match was really a lot of Emma aggresses, and then Asuka makes the babyface comeback. That's really what it was, and clearly we've seen that these two can do a lot better. NXT TakeOver London to boot. That's your really example right there, but this was a very good match, and we saw some decent spots from Emma at one point, knocking Asuka off the apron with a basement dropkick, which looked very, very good. That was nice. Asuka was on the apron at one point, and Emma took her and just flung her across onto the outside. That looked pretty cool as well. And Asuka, she was really just here to get her shit in and really introduce herself. And Asuka's moveset is awesome. So it was a good matchup because of that. But she was really just getting a lot of her usual spots in order to introduce herself to that majority of the audience that doesn't watch NXT. I can't wait till you're in that point in Asuka's career where everybody's seeing her and everybody sees her as this awesome, makes sense, but everybody sees her as this awesome women's competitor, and the crowd is really going for her. Right now, the crowd really wasn't that hot for her because a lot of people didn't know who Asuka was in that crowd. The majority of the crowd that did know her was going crazy, but everybody else, they did not know. Asuka's entrance as well. Asuka's entrance was awesome here. They had this cool, menacing mask. They had the arena go out, and the lights were black, and then it was just cool, menacing mask on the thing, and then all the colors came in, and Asuka came out with the mask, which looked awesome. But Asuka wins in her debut. Very, very good debut for Asuka. Wins with the Asuka lock, and I popped big for this matchup when Asuka came out, bro. I was excited, and I'm glad they started off the show with this. Asuka, very, very good debut here tonight. Elias Sampson was singing his song and trashing on the crowd, like always, before Jason Jordan came out and started throwing vegetables and fruit at Elias, as if that's supposed to get him over. This isn't some ridiculous Bobby Flay cooking show, bro. My God. That was absolutely ridiculous, but that continued throughout the night. Elias came out once again, and he was playing once again, and Jason Jordan came out, started doing the same thing, came out for a third time at the 10 o'clock hour, and that eventually led to a matchup between Jason Jordan and Elias Sampson. We'll talk about that. But Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher versus Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann. This was a very good matchup, and it really showcased what the Cruiserweights could do and should be doing on Monday Night Raw, bro. Really, it does show. I mean, Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann, Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher, also talented, and we saw that talent displayed very, very much so in the Cruiserweight Classic, and this showed shades of what these guys were doing in the Cruiserweight Classic. Since it was a pay-per-view, these guys were given their time, and they took that time and they made the most of it. This was a tag team matchup, and usually with these tag team matchups that are just thrown together, I'm like, well, this isn't going to be very good. But they took their time, they made the most of it, and I enjoyed the hell out of myself watching this matchup. These guys went at it, bro. More proof that if given time and booked correctly, the Cruiserweights could be money. The crowd, by the end of this matchup, was hot. They were really, really hot for this matchup, bro. The in-ring ability of Cedric Alexander is one of the best in WWE, and that is being wasted away in the Cruiserweight division. The selling of Jack Gallagher is one of the best in the WWE. There was a point where I think it was Cedric Alexander. Yeah, Cedric Alexander did a springboard clothesline onto Jack Gallagher, and Jack Gallagher just absolutely sold it beautifully, bro. The athleticism of Rich Swann is one of the best in the WWE. The scrappy style of Brian Kendrick shows what these heels should be. The creativity of these heels, bro. You seen what Brian Kendrick was doing in the Cruiserweight Classic with the scrappy style. It was absolutely fantastic. Using the rung of the turnbuckles to his advantage. Using the ring apron and the cloth of the ring apron to his advantage. Just using everything he could to survive. And all these guys, really very book simply, they were good. And it really doesn't take that much. And just giving these guys their time will take you a far way. And that was shown here tonight. The crowd was popping. They were hot by the end of this matchup, where in the beginning they didn't really give a fuck. But damn good match. And Alexander wins here with the lumbar check. I enjoyed what these guys did here tonight. Very, very good. And this was what I was talking about, saying that especially when it's a pay-per-view, everybody seems to bring their A game. Same could be said for Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. This was a very good match between Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. The wrestling up to this point was very good, and it actually remained that way until, of course, Kalisto versus Enzo Amore, which was the next match, but we'll talk about that. Bliss did win here with the DDT, which it was expected for Alexa to win. I'm thinking that Alexa's going to hold the title warm for Asuka. I'm thinking Asuka's going to go into a mini rivalry or a rivalry with Sasha Banks, and then beyond that, Alexa Bliss will face her next opponent, whoever that may be. I mean, you could really have her face anybody. Hopefully just not Bayley again. Goddamn. But this was a very, very good matchup. Alexa Bliss, it's shown really how she's improved, because her and Mickie James had some matches on SmackDown Live earlier in the year. Really weren't that good of matches, bro. Here tonight, really showed how Alexa Bliss has improved in that ring and how she's really finessed everything in her arsenal, bro. Beautiful sunset flip at one point by Alexa Bliss, bro. Mickie James has just always been so solid in the ring. Just a good hand. And I mean, it's so unfortunate that she's been really wasted on Monday Night Raw until this feud started. Mickie James has looked absolutely fantastic in this feud. Very good promo by Mickie James. That's actually something really that hasn't been mentioned that much until this rivalry started. And very good in-ring ability. And that was shown in this matchup here tonight, which did not disappoint whatsoever. And after the matchup, Mickie James was interviewed, and she was pretty much said, you know what, I lost here tonight, but hopefully the performance that I gave here tonight shows you that this will not be my last showing in this Raw Women's Division, and this will not be my last match for that championship, and this will not be my last title ring. Hopefully that is not the case. So there you go, Alexa Bliss beating Mickie James here tonight. And by the way, I love the fact that Alexa Bliss won clean. Your champion's got to win clean every once in a while, ladies and gentlemen. That's why Alexa Bliss is such a good heel. She's winning clean, bro. She's winning clean. And, I mean, it's making her look better as a champion. Now, the fact that Mickie James beat her and pinned her on Monday Night Raw, I'm not forgetting that. Still 50-50 booking, but Alexa Bliss does win here. And, like I said, despite the bullshit storyline, because on Monday Night Raw you had that 50-50 booking, the in-ring on this show here tonight was absolutely fantastic. And yet another example that I was talking about of the fact that everybody was bringing an extra gear here tonight when it came to in-ring competition. Even on the pre-show, you had a matchup between Sasha Banks and Alicia Fox, which was actually very good and very physical. And I'm wondering, damn, that matchup went 10 minutes? And went 10 minutes? Why couldn't you have put that on Monday Night Raw? You could have easily put that on Monday Night Raw, and I'm sure that Alicia Fox would be looking a lot better off. That would have been a nice matchup on Raw. Nobody would have been complaining about this feud if we would have just seen that on Monday Night Raw, but no. But Sasha Banks did win on the pre-show. Only time I'll cover the pre-show on these pay-per-view reviews. Just really when I want to nailed down a point right there. But we go to Kalisto versus Enzo Amore. This match wasn't bad, but it damn sure wasn't good either. This was the worst part of the show. And I mean, it really wasn't that bad, but I mean, it was just expected. Enzo wins the title back here tonight as pretty much a reset, so everyone else in the Cruiserweight division could challenge for this title, since WWE pretty much booked themselves into a corner. They had it so Enzo had this clause that nobody, if they attacked him on that segment, Enzo's Cruiserweight Championship celebration, they had it so if anybody attacked him, and that they wouldn't get a Cruiserweight Championship shot in the future, and everybody attacked him. So everybody attacked him, and they booked themselves into a corner where somebody new had to be introduced. That was Kalisto. Kalisto won the Cruiserweight Championship, and now Enzo's winning it back, because Enzo's the guy they truly want as champion. So Enzo's winning it back, and now it's going to start where Enzo is going to be facing everybody else on the Cruiserweight division, whoever that may be. I'm vying for a Cedric Alexander in the future. Cedric Alexander's so good in the ring, and I'd love to see him hold that Cruiserweight Championship, really legitify himself. Because, I mean, having that title on Enzo, really not the best of things if you ask me. Goddamn, I don't like it at all. Not one bit do I like Enzo having that Cruiserweight Championship. He's not that good in the ring, really cannot put on a good match whatsoever. This was mediocre at best, bro, is what this matchup was. But Enzo wins the Cruiserweight Championship here, and the reason why, really clear in your mind, bro. Goddamn. We move on to the best matchup on this show. I'm really debating what was the best matchup in this show in my mind right now. Was it the TLC matchup or AJ Styles versus Finn Balor? Because AJ Styles versus Finn Balor was a very, very good matchup here tonight. And one thing I'd love to know right from the beginning is I love the fact that WWE came out here tonight. They didn't give you any bullshit excuse that Bray Wyatt didn't want to come out as Sister Abigail or some just garbage excuse. They laid it to you and gave you the truth. And the truth was that Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, they were sick. They were struck with some illness. They didn't say what the illness was, but they were struck with an illness. And they were not able to compete here tonight. So AJ Styles was flown in from Argentina or wherever he was in South America, 18-hour flight, and he's here to compete in a matchup that we've all wanted to see. Kurt Angle spoke to Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon said yes, so AJ Styles was flown in and he fought Finn Balor here tonight. Absolutely all I wanted to hear. The truth. The truth. WWE did not sugarcoat anything, and that made it so this matchup happening made perfect sense. Now, how much better this matchup would have been if you would have put some proper builds to this. My God, I don't even know, bro. If there would have been proper investment in this matchup due to a build, Bullet Club leader versus Bullet Club leader, fighting over control of Gallows and Anderson. That'd be interesting, right? Fighting over who gets to lead Gallows and Anderson in the stable. That'd be awesome. That would be really, really awesome. But, clearly, there was no time to give us build, and we saw a dream matchup here tonight, and no doubt about it, he delivered. They delivered. Both of them delivered, and you gotta give props to AJ Styles, bro. My God, you gotta give props to AJ Styles, that with all the jet lag, 18-hour flight, all the jet lag, just being in Argentina, really not many chances to get that much sleep, still being able to come out to a Raw exclusive pay-per-view, which he didn't even know he was going to be on, put in the extra hours, and putting on this absolutely fantastic match. You got to give props to AJ Styles. That just goes to show you even further the type of competitor that AJ Styles is. My God, bro. Holy crap. And to those people, those idiots out there who say that Finn Balor can't wrestle, are you fucking kidding me? Did you see the matchup he put on with AJ Styles here tonight? And I don't want to hear, oh, AJ Styles carried Finn Balor, bro. It takes two to tango. My God, and we've seen Finn Balor put on fantastic matches with the likes of Elias Sampson and that street fight that they had on Raw a couple months back. the matchup with Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. That matchup really didn't get critical acclaim because of the fact that it was plagued by the fact that the Universal Championship was unveiled before the matchup, and that shit looked absolutely awful. But besides that, really, realistically, that was a very, very good match. Finn Balor has put on great matches in the past. He really, really has. And the fact is that he is a great wrestler. So to those people who say Finn Balor can't wrestle, I was hearing people say Nikki Bella is a better wrestler than Finn Balor. You are smoking dick, bro. Holy crap. But besides that, this matchup was absolutely spectacular, bro. Spectacular. No doubt about it. They fought some spots on this matchup that were just awesome. They fought on the outside where Styles picked up Balor and they both went over the announce table. That was cool. Led to the referee counting. They both got in the ring. They both went at it with each other. There was a point where they both collided into a clothesline or crossed bodies onto each other. Got right back up. Double clothesline again. They were trading forearms with each other. Styles tried to go for the phenomenal blitz. And as Styles tried to hit the clothesline, Balor hit a Pele kick. That was awesome. Balor, he had hit the drop kick into the turnbuckles. Goes up for a coup de grace. Styles hits a Pele kick on Balor, who is on the top rope. And he gets on the ring apron. Springboard, so he's on the top rope. Springboard Hurricane Rana bounces from the top rope onto Finn Balor for a Hurricane Rana, Frankensteiner, whatever the hell you want to call it. Absolutely beautiful right there. And, I mean, just a beautiful back and forth matchup. Started slow, started with the feeling out process. Just a very good wrestling matchup, what we've seen between these two guys, bro. And the thing I liked about it most is that it was a very good matchup, and it didn't have to be one of these finisher fests. Like, even the matchup we've seen between John Cena and AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble in 2017 and earlier this year, right? Even that was a bit of a finisher fest where these guys were just trading finishes back and forth, and you just kick out of all these moves. The only finisher we saw from Styles was a phenomenal forearm that Finn Balor kicked out of, and Finn Balor hit one coup de grace, and that was it for AJ Styles. He hit a reverse 1916 at one point in the matchup. It was like reversal after reversal after reversal, and then finally Balor got an elbow onto the chest of AJ Styles and followed that up with the 1916. There was a nice sequence there. It was just a very, very good matchup between two very, very good wrestlers. And damn, it was a dream match, and it delivered. It lived up to the hype, bro. Just imagine. I want to see this match again in the future, because just imagine what these guys can do if they were given a proper build. And there's history behind that matchup. We all know that. Imagine there was a title on the line. Imagine these two guys were on the same brand. Imagine Gallows and Anderson was on the same brand. And you're fighting over control of the Bullet Club. That is something I would love to see in the future. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed that it was given away here tonight with no build, for that very reason. But besides that, very, very fantastic matchup. I love how WWE explained it. And, I mean, we saw probably one of the best matches we've seen in a long, long time in the WWE main roster, bro. Great matchup. Absolutely great. I loved it. But, I mean, and I'm sure all of you loved it. But that is the final matchup right here on TLC. Very good pay-per-view. And I am surprised to say that. Part of the reason it was a very good pay-per-view wasn't going to be a very good pay-per-view. And I feel like this pay-per-view would have fell flat if it would have just been the TLC matchup that was good. I feel like there was a lot of hype surrounding the pay-per-view after AJ Styles and Kurt Angle got announced. And I feel like there was an added layer to this pay-per-view due to the amazing matchup we saw between AJ Styles and Finn Balor. It really did add a layer to this pay-per-view. I think I forgot to talk about Jason Jordan and Elias. Yeah, I did forget to talk about Jason Jordan and Elias. pretty much it was a decent matchup as well. Really wasn't a bad matchup either. There was a cool spot where Jason Jordan tried to go for the shoulder tackle or the spear that he does in the corner, right? And it was a sick spot where Elias got the knee up, but in the end, it was really Jason Jordan who got a roll up on Elias for a 1-2-3, but the shoulder of Elias was up, so clearly that's going to be continued on Raw. As how interested I am in seeing that continue, not that much, but decent matchup. Very, very good, fantastic, as a matter of fact, in-ring work from everybody on this pay-per-view. Everybody on this pay-per-view came out and put their hearts and souls into what we've seen in that ring, and it was absolutely great. It really, really was. But besides that, ladies and gentlemen, that was all the matches on TLC. I hope you agreed with my opinion on everything you've seen here. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed what you heard here, and of course, make sure to comment what you thought of TLC. Make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. Raw reviews, Smackdown reviews, pay-per-view reviews, pay-per-view preview and predictions, NXT TakeOver reviews, breaking news videos, WWE 2K18, my career, behind the mic each and every single Saturday. All that amazing content and so much more right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. So of course, if you do not want to miss any of that content, make sure to subscribe. If you have not subscribed yet, I do not know what you are waiting for. For now, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Joel Perez of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment, and for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video, and I will see you all tomorrow on your Monday Night Raw review.